What up, Elden Ring video. And I'll talk about patch 1.04 or 1.004. And this is going to be for mages. Basically, talk about some of the buffs and nerfs. And I'm not going to go over every single thing in the patch notes, but I will link them at the top of the description of this particular video. A couple things that I wanted to mention here that are just general. In order to, once you update the game, in order to get some of these changes to take place, there are three things you're going to need to do. You're going to need to level up. This is, just for the changes that apply to this patch. You're going to need to level up at least once. You're going to need to activate Godric's Great Rune. So you're going to have to come in here and just activate this for whatever reason, and then re-equip any equipment, armor talisman, which grants bonus stat to either strength, dexterity, vigor, endurance, intelligence, faith, or arcane. So as an example, come in here, you see that I have Queen's Crescent Crown on, and that gives a boost to intelligence. So I just come in here, unequip it, re-equip it, just like that. And then the talisman, I have something that gives a boost right here. So I just unequip it and then re-equip it, or whatever, or change it out and then change it back. You know what I'm saying? Whatever, just like that, in order to get some of these changes to actually take place. This is only required once or whatever, and then if you're building a new character, you don't have to worry about it. This is only for people that are already, invested in the game, maybe like on new game, +2, or even if you're on your first playthrough. Just wanted to mention that. And one thing else I want to mention that's near and dear to my heart, and that is the PS5. We still didn't get any updates for 3D audio and no DualSense controller support, so we still don't have adaptive triggers, haptic feedback, audio from the built-in speaker on the controller, stuff like that. None of the stuff like the trackpad lighting or whatever. Some games, if I light a torch up, the trackpad lights will turn orange. Trying to think. I think, what is that? Horizon does that maybe. I think is one of the games where, let's say if I'm using a Frost build or Frost Mage build, it would maybe be blue, or if I went Fire Mage, maybe orange or red, if I'm using Blood Loss and stuff like that. No updates like that for a controller, so whatever. I just thought I'd mention it. And then one other thing that I want to mention, this is really important, and probably the most important thing for Mage builds, in your Mix Wondrous Physic Flask here, Cerulean Hidden Tear, this was an accidental nerf, and it goes from about 10 seconds. Now it is completely nerfed, and it's only going to last, I don't know, maybe 6 seconds. And whoops, I will just drink the flask here. You'll see I got the little blue lights around me, letting you know that I'm getting a boost from it. And then you see how quick it goes away. And that's it. So it used to last 10 seconds. Now they knocked it down about a quarter of the time or whatever. So maybe 6, 7 seconds, something like that. I don't know. They said that it will be a minor update in the near future to address that. So just keep that in mind. The show note, or I keep calling them show notes. The patch notes are very long, so I'm not going to really go over everything in here. Just know if you are a mage build, you got the most buffs. I'm going to talk about some of the decreases though that will affect mage builds. In particular, if you're using the Carian Retaliation, this one right here, it's a nerf to damage. You're not going to be able to one shot, especially in PvP, you're not going to be able to one shot. Let me see if I can scroll through here and find them. Weapon skill, I don't know if they mentioned that. They don't mention that here, but it's in the bug fixes for this. Yeah, right here. Fixed a bug where the damage of the weapon art, Carian Retaliation, was increased by weapon and status, and the effect was not displayed correctly during online multiplayer. So basically, in PvP, you're not going to be able to use this and one-shot people most of the time. Fixed in a bug where animation when inflicted with blood loss and frostbite was bigger than originally planned. So I recently did a Frost Mage build or Snow Mage build, whatever, and we use stuff we apply like frostbite, and the damage to it or the animation was bigger than originally planned. Let me see. I'm just trying to go over the mage items here. If you're a non-mage player, you can just click the notes right here. Okay, fixed a bug that sometime prevented the mechanic of Renala, Queen of the Full Moon fight, from working properly during cooperative multiplayer. I don't know what that one is. I was thinking that was something different. Let's see. One thing I do want to mention, if you're a speedrunner, you don't want to upgrade at all because the wrong warp is gone. The stuff where you could, okay, one of my most popular videos on here is the speedrun glitch for Radagon. Not Radagon. What is his name? I can't even think of his name off the top of my head. But anyway, where you could jump off the cliff. That one right there, it doesn't work anymore. Like where you would, I know you could do that up there in the mountaintop of the Giants. If you wanted to get to the concentrated snowfield, you could jump off the edge by the shack, and then that one would put you down where the whatchamacallit, where the Stake of America is. Like you're not going to be able to do that anymore. So as far as major builds, some of the major things that I think are like important because they're some of the best, spells in the game. And the first one we'll look at Adula's Moonblade right here. It's definitely probably one of the more OP spells. This one got a decrease of damage, but they did increase like the distance and the casting speed. So if you're someone that used this, and I'll just roll down here to the, let me see if I can find it. I know it's in here, Adula's Moonblade. Just want to read it word for word. Like I said, you guys can click the links. I'm not trying to bore everybody with it. I'm trying to keep this short too. But I just wanted to go over some of the ones that I thought were important. And this is definitely one right here. I can't find it, but it definitely got a decrease to like damage from the initial attack. But like if you do a second attack, then the damage stays the same. But it's only that first initial attack that doesn't do as much damage. So, but they did increase the cast time at lower. So if you have lower dexterity, the cast speed is going to be a little bit faster there. As a mage, you don't really put much, attribute points into our dexterity. But as I did in a previous video, dexterity can speed up like your casting time, but it's such a small increase, really not worth like investing points into it. But at a lower dexterity cost, you will have caster or faster cast times for a ton of spells. Basically every mage, sorcery, or incantation in the game. Coffee break there. Another one, these are two that I like to use. They're really popular. It's going to be Rainy's Dark Mood and Renala's Full Mood. It's going to increase the cast speed and decrease the recovery time. So I think I have that. I don't have it equipped, but I'll go equip the ones that I think are important to mention here, because these are going to be like the major ones that people are going to be using. And I only have to apply one of these. Another one, if you have a Melania build, or if you're using any of Melania stuff, this is the one that I just did a video on. That one got a major, this one got a major buff. One thing I'll mention here as far as nerfs go, and this is one of the most OP things in the game, and that's going to be Swarm of Flies. That one got a major nerf. So if you use that, it's not going to be as good. But Briars of Punishment and Briars of Sin got buffs. Swarm of Flies got a nerf. So, it's not going to do as much blood loss build up as it did before. So just keep that in mind. Trying to think of some of the other ones. Oh, this one. Carian Greatsword. That one got a buff right here. It increased the cast speed at lower dexterity. So same thing with Adula's Moonblade. So you're gonna, even though it got like a nerf to the damage, it did get a buff to other aspects of it. But Rainy's Dark Moon, like with this one, you're able to immediately roll out of the animation right here. So it's gonna be a little bit faster. As soon as my feet touch, I can roll backwards. So, that's good right there. Cast faster. Now, if we look at Scarlet Aeonia, which is a really good animation, this one got a major buff to the animation when casting it. Look how fast this is now. Boom. But rolling out of it, you're still going to have to wait. And I'm trying to roll, and then now I can finally roll out of it. But that is a little bit faster. Like before, you would just stand there for a second, and you get knocked out of this animation a lot. They also buff that so that you're not able, some of the lesser, like, not the big bosses, not the Melanias, not the, Riker, stuff like that. they're not going to be able to knock you out of the animation as easily. You know, of course, you could apply like Bull Goat's Talisman to keep you from getting knocked out of some of these animations, but Scarlet Aeonia is one that they actually buffed right here. Some of the other ones that are worth mentioning here, let's see. I mean, basically every incantation and sorcery got like a buff in terms of either increased damage. Almost all of them got decreased recovery time or decreased FP or like increased cast speed at a lower dexterity. Like you have to just read them for yourself. Some of the upward and downward adjustments. So Adula's Moonblade right here, you got decreased the power of a single cast, and that's what I mentioned right here. So with the first, or just with one, cast of it, you're going to get that decrease of power or damage. But they did improve the performance so that the blades in Frost hit more consistently and continuously, and then increase the cast speed. So, if you cast that, you see how it shoots that little dart out. So it's going to be more consistent, and it's going to increase it. Flame Fall upon them, they decrease the damage of a single cast. And then the Howl of Shibriri, again, they decrease the madness buildup of the enemy. I don't know why. Downward adjustments, Swarm of Flies, I already mentioned that. That kind of sucks. Some of the upward adjustments that we got here, so these basically just got all like buffs right here. Let's see, Thundercloud form. Trying to see some of the good ones in here that got buffs. Like I said, I'm going to try to keep this short. I think that's pretty much it for like the major sorceries and incantations that a lot of people use. Gray rolls roar, decrease FP, stamina cost, recovery time. That's really good right there. Dragon Claw, that's good. Inescapable Frenzy, decreased cast speed. Unendurable Frenzy, this one got like a huge buff. Increased cast speed, decreased recovery time, decreased the random nature of projectile range, and increased madness buildup of enemies. So they decreased the madness of some of these incantations and spells, but they increased them in other ones. So I guess they kind of like leveled out the, they made the ones that were OP not as OP, and the ones that sucked, they've kind of basically boosted them. I guess would be the best way to explain the patch notes for this update. Now, some of the bug fixes here. Again, I already mentioned Carian Retaliation in the beginning. That one got basically a damage of weapon arts, and I think that's just in multiplayer. So if you're still playing like PvE, like against the enemies, it may still do damage, but in PvP is where I think they fixed it. But I don't know. I think like anything with speedrunning, like wrong warping and all that, they took that away. The only thing they didn't fix was the zip glitch. Pegasus doesn't work anymore, so if you want to do the flying horse stuff, that doesn't work. Wrong warping, I don't think that works anymore. Basically anything with speed runs is gone. Let's see. Yeah, that's pretty much it right there. So if you don't play online, then, and you're a speedrunner, or, you don't want to get like, say like the Swarm of Flies nerf, don't upgrade. On PC, I won't be upgrading. I'm still like on patch 1.02 on PC. So I play on that patch because I still like Hoarfrost Stomp, stuff like that. But overall for mages, this is a really good update because it did like buff up a lot of the spells. I mean, I'll be honest, a lot of the spells and incantations are useless. Like they really are. Like there's no way to get around like saying that they just suck. You know what I'm saying? Like, here was one right here, like Gelmer's Fury. Like, this is one that I should have said, because I have a Fire Mage or Flame Mage build, and this one, they, like, decreased, like, the randomness of the range of this, and I don't know why, because the range, it really wasn't that good, but the area of effect, as far as the lava buildup, it's going to last a little longer, so it's kind of good with it. And this one got, like, a buff. It's going to be, like, faster, and it costs less FP. You see Ranked rank card. It says, I think, 29. I could have swore that was only 26, but maybe that's with a different. I know they buffed Ranked rank card. Yeah. Oh, decreased FP cost. Maybe that's one you have to like equip and then unequip. There's no way that should be 39 there. Yeah, FP cost 39. I don't know. I could have swore it was 26, but that's one that they actually decreased the FP cost of. Maybe it was like 42 or something before. I don't remember. But anyway, I got a decrease. That's good because that's like, if you use any of, like, as an example here, I'll just show you real quick. So you could use this particular staff, the Gilmer Glintstone staff, to boost lava sorceries. There's 4 of them. And of the 4, the only one that's worth using is Riker Dranker. Like, that's the only really good one. So the fact that they decrease FP cost that's huge. And it actually does a lot of damage, especially if you're using that staff right there. But that's pretty much it right there. You know, like I said, just wanted to kind of address some of the major changes for some of the more popular spells and incantations and things that we use in the game. You know, like the Carian Retaliation. That one is basically dead as far as PvP goes. And I think they nerfed the damage in PvE, to be honest. But if you have questions or comments, leave that down below. If you're Mage build, it's a glorious day today because basically a lot of these useless, you know, spells and incantations basically got major buffs, and then a few of the ones that were a little OP kind of got minor nerfs, or, you know, in the, I guess, like if you say a swarm of flies, basically it's not as good anymore, and Carian Retaliation not as good. But other than that, that's okay. You know, we don't have to cheese the game out all the time, so I don't mind when they address the things that are overpowered and, you know, give them little nerfs to keep the balance of the game, because ultimately this is, you know, a game, you know, maybe that has DLC. You know, someone like me, I play these games for years and years, especially on PC, you know, like say Witcher 3 or like a Cyberpunk or a Skyrim stuff or Fallout games, you know, because I'm constantly using mods and, you know, whatever. It just keeps the life cycle of the game. So I don't mind when they do stuff like that or whatever. And again, on PC, I can always just roll down patches or whatever. But on console, unless you have the disc version and you know, turn off your internet, you're going to be stuck with these updates. So, you know, I don't know, if you have like the digital version of it, you're kind of screwed, because anytime you have to re-download it, you're always going to download whatever the latest update is. But overall, great update for Mages. I'm out. Peace.